Welcome to the session 21st Century Illinois Adult Education and Career Training System. In this session, you will learn about the career pathway graphic for adult education and all of the skills to be included at each of the levels of adult education. Please download all the handouts at this time before we begin. Handout number 1 is the career pathway graphic itself. This section refers to this handout number 1, the career pathway graphic and skills. As we look at the career pathway graphic, it is the restructure of adult education in Illinois. It was developed by Adult Education Peer Working Group last year. It includes all levels of adult education so that no group is left out. Please look at the diagram of the career pathway graphic on your handout. You'll notice this circle in the center. The student is at the center of all we do, as has always been the case. All levels flow to other levels or to on and off ramps, and those would be to college, careers, or training. The levels are all based on the EFLs, the Educational Functioning Levels, as indicated by either TABE, the BEST tests, or CASAS. All instruction included in the career pathway graphic should be aligned with the Common Core and appropriate Illinois content standards, and make use of your curriculum that was developed in alignment with those standards. There are 3 elements that are included in all levels. They are at the center of the graphic. Technology skills is one of those, career development, and transition services. We will go into a little bit more depth on each one of those as we go. There are also 3 on and off ramps again, college, careers, and training. The areas indicate where a student may advance from one level to the next, if you'll look at the arrows that connect each one of those. And they may skip a level or go on to the next bridge, or they may leave or go to work, additional training, or college, and then return to adult education. And as we look at and learn about the career pathway graphic, there are some things to consider. First thing to consider are what you are currently doing in your own program. Are you already addressing some of the things that are at each of the levels that you are teaching, at whatever level you're teaching? If you are an administrator, what levels are you currently offering students? What kind of skills are you offering students at each of those levels? Where might you fit in? Do you need to form partnerships with others, teachers in your programs, employees, employers, business and industry, other programs within your area, within your APC possibly? Otherwise, the other thing to consider is additional skills to include. Are there some skills that are included in the career pathway graphic that you do not currently address? If so, what are they, and how might you actually offer these things up and actually create these things in your program to include them? What might you need to do to change things up? Let's look at the various levels of the career pathway graphic and the skills included in each. As we do this, look especially at the level at which you teach to see any changes that you need to make. The beginning level is the foundation level. ABE 1.0 to 3.9 and ESL 1 to 2. Again, all these are levels that coincide with the EFL levels. Skills included at this level are basic skills. And the basic skills would be the oral communication, reading, writing, and numeracy. Technology skills, and from that we would go, and we'll go in a little bit more depth with this, but that would be based upon the Advisory Council's Technology Skills Checklist. And career development, and what components might be included in that. So the transition services. And as we go through and we look at each one of these things, let's look at the basic skills first. Reading. These skills are ones that you are more probably likely already addressing with your students at this level, and really aren't significantly different. The only difference is that as you are instructing basic skills, you will need to include referrals or references to the world of work, college, or training in your discussions in your reading, writing, and numeracy, and also in oral communication. Possibly an example would be in what jobs or courses might a student need to use these skills that they are actually learning in terms of reading, writing, numeracy, and oral communication. The basics level technology skills, let's look at this handout number 2, which is Technology Skills Checklist. Look at the basic level entry part of that. As we look at those things, Each of the levels includes skills in each of the main categories, and such as like you read the level categories. So if we go and we say basic computer skills, there are some specific skills at the basic level that need to be included, and some of those would be, for example, using private password, proper care and upkeep of equipment, typing at a speed of 25 words per minute, maintain proper body position while you're actually at a computer, and be able to explain the computer components and peripherals. So that's an example of some of the things at the basic computer level. Then the second column category would be word processing. Some examples at the basic level for students would be the ability to format, copy and paste, and align, do a page setup, make bullets, and create columns, as well as you'd use word processing from start to finish, be able to insert tables, graphics, pictures, and any artwork. There was some examples. The third column category is spreadsheets. They need to be able to navigate between cells, be able to use the tab, the enter, the arrows, point and click, and actually start to create a graph. Label a graph with the title, the X and Y axis, be able to starting to use some databases. Now these are like basic level databases, not something that is complex and as Excel, but just starting to learn the components of a database. Electronic presentation, next category, is the use of graphic organizers for idea development to show content and knowledge, and then to be able to make a presentation easily readable, be able to select background, color, and text, font size, those kinds of things, and actually be able to apply appropriate custom animation to their slides, and then to be able to actually present a slideshow. For digital literacy category, they need to actually be able to look at how to operate a digital or a video camera, a digital camera, USB storage device, how to use a jump drive, how to use a thumb drive, those types of things, and scanners, how to scan a document, how to be able to do that are some examples, and the cloud being another example in the basic level. For communication category, to be able to use email appropriately when accessible, to be able to use netiquette, as we call it, in all e-communications, such as not typing in all capital letters because that means yelling to the other person on the receiving end of that email. For research, it would be to use keywords to search, to be able to go up and type in a keyword to search emails or to search for documents, to use the address bar to type in a URL, and those types of things. For ethics and safety, we look at that category, and that's being able to use bibliographical citations, because we don't want any plagiarism going on. So for electronic resources, they need to be able to do that. Full participation in society for digital access, the electronic, be able to buy and sell things. So you might want to actually start looking at like Craigslist kind of thing on there in terms of that. The other things then the last category is desktop publishing and web authoring, and that's where they need to be able to start looking at how to edit text and graphics, and how to actually construct a template and add text boxes and graphics and whatnot. You can refer to the basic level technology skills for that to actually indicate what students need to do for otherwise. Now let's go on. Career development. Goal setting is one type for the career development, and the next area for all this is it varies at all the different levels. So at the foundational level for career development, you're going to include goal setting, you're going to include an introduction to soft skills, you're going to include world of work skills, you're going to also include survival skills. So the content of your current lessons, look at those and see what topics in career development that you may already be addressing, and what you might need to include, and any areas that you might need to learn about as you move forward in your classroom and assisting your students in setting goals and actually introducing what those soft skills are and the world of work. Transition and support services is yet the third item that is included in the career pathway graphic in the center of all that we do. And this area will be as small or as large as the student needs it to be. Some will have more areas where they need support than others. A few are listed, but it's by no means a limited list, because you'll need to work with and teach the student to see where their needs are. In most programs, these services are provided by a transitions coordinator or transitions counselor or career navigator. It's a lot to expect the classroom instructor to actually address all these barriers for all the students as well as to instruct. So again, I say the transitions coordinator or counselor or career navigator should be the person that actually assists the students in addressing these barriers. Most of the time that being upon orientation and intake, but as we know, a lot of issues arise and barriers arise as we go along in the classrooms. So it's that person that would address those needs with those students. Some examples of those at the basic level might be a student that has special learning needs, or again, students that need transportation to and from class or to and from work. How are they going to figure that out? Childcare, what are they going to do with their child while they're in class, as well as then when they actually get a job. The next level on the career pathway graphic is the intermediate level. From the foundational level, assuming that they don't exit to careers training or education, they then go to the intermediate level. And sometimes students are placed at this level depending upon their EFL levels upon assessment. ABE 4 to 5.9, ESL 3 to 4. Instruction at this level builds upon elements at the foundational level. So if a student transitions from the foundational level into intermediate, then you're just building upon those skills. The skills that are addressed in this level are, again, intermediate level basic skills, individualized academic plans, intermediate level technology skills based upon the Advisory Council of Technology skills list, and then career development, and again, transition and support services. Upon completion of this level, students could enter a career path with access to unskilled jobs or seek additional training. So it's not a lot there as we're working to get our students to earn a family-sustaining wage. At this level, if they were to exit, chances are that they are not going to, at this point in time, actually get a family-sustaining wage. The intermediate skills at this level, under reading, we wanted to include EBRI because this is the level where EBRI or STAR instruction is used for teaching reading. And the students already have the foundations for all the skills at this level, and instruction becomes a little more advanced. Again, an emphasis on using these skills as students transition to college, to careers, or training should be reinforced in all instruction. The writing being the same way, numeracy and oral communication. So let's move on and talk about the intermediate level technology skills. And at this level, again, we're looking at the handout that you have based upon the technology skills checklist at the intermediate level. And it's important to note that what technology should be included in the instruction. Integrating the use of technology in instruction is what you need to do, is actually integrate, not just teach technology class, but actually integrate the use of technology within your instruction. It's key, especially when teaching intermediate basic skills. So if we look at these again, it's the same category, but as we move and look at the checklist, you'll note that there are some, it's again expanded. It includes the things at the first level, but it actually expands for uses the computer for problem solving and creativity. They select and use appropriate tools for tasks. They type alphabetical text at a rate of approximately 35 words a minute, and they can actually create original music, art, and video projects. And the word processing part of it, they're actually going to be able to need to learn how to use a thesaurus and use word count that are on the computer, and how they could actually see and how to do that on the computer to actually insert symbols and page breaks and comments and hyperlinks. Insert and edit headers and footers as far as word processing skills go, and insert page numbers and the date. For spreadsheets, they need to be able to use autofill, use formulas, select and use appropriate charts, and then format a chart and change the location of the chart. For electronic presentation, again expanding upon the basic levels, at this point in time they would then be able to create original products based on research, use it to support an oral presentation, possibly create an e-portfolio. For digital literacy, in addition to the items that they learned under the basic technology skills, we're also going to use data collection tools like data probe or a PDA or a GPS or digital camcorders, those kinds of things, a web camera, and then the use of portable storage devices. In communication line, we look at that, and again, it's expanding so that they would use social media, use appropriate etiquette, like we said before, maybe participate in some video conferencing in some online communities with forums and blogs and wikis or Moodles, as an example. For research, we want to enhance what we've done previously by possibly using web activities for problem solving, for using citations for electronic information, for selecting and evaluating appropriateness of information from a variety of resources. For ethical and safety, pretty much those are the same, except for that they need to start considering abiding by the copyright laws and not plagiarizing again, as we said. Then their electronic precautions to guarantee their safety for digital security, for self-protection, as well as those things. Desktop, create a project for unique academic purpose would be in addition to what they're already doing at the previous level. So again, those skills are expanded upon the level from the level before. In career development, we're going to do also at the intermediate level, it expands on the career development from the foundational level to include the career plans, career awareness, career exploration, job readiness skills, and introduction of the career ready practices. The career ready practices were once known as the knowledge and skills, essential knowledge and skill statements, but have since been changed to be career ready practices, which is also a handout that you have for this section. It is helpful to students to use some of the career development in the foundational level to reinforce and introduce career development skills at this level. The purpose of the career pathway graphic is for each of the level skills to build upon the previous level. So if you, at this point in time, when you have students come into this level, you need to kind of backtrack a little bit and include and make sure that they have some of the previous knowledge. If you look at the career ready practices, number one is to act as a responsible and contributing citizen and employee. So we actually address those issues in class and talk about those kinds of things. Use this information that is in this handout in your instruction so that you can bring those things in for the job readiness skills, for the world of work, for the soft skills. The individuals apply appropriate academic and technical skills that they're actually utilizing in their technology skills that you're using in the classroom and incorporating in the classroom. So when you're doing the technical skills and you're doing things like that, explain to them how this is actually a career ready practice, that they be able to use technology in the real world. Attend to personal health and financial well-being can be incorporated from the career development piece as well to communicate clearly, effectively, and with reason in the oral communication and in the writing sections of your basic skills. So it's all kind of incorporated. I'm not going to read most of these, but you go through and you kind of look down, and it's employ valid and reliable research strategies. Something that we've not ever usually asked our students to do is to actually look at research and to let them understand as they use technology that not everything on the internet is believable or is true. So as Abraham Lincoln said, it's not something that everything on the internet is not to be believed. Okay, if you believe that. So another one is to work productively in teams while using cultural and global competence. So in your classroom instruction, you can incorporate that as a method with your methods of instruction so that you possibly use group work and teamwork in their instruction. For transition support services at this level, again, to assist students in succeeding in any or all barriers that they actually have, they should be addressed. It is important to note these barriers from intake. However, some barriers may surface as a student goes through the levels, such as homelessness, substance abuse, those kinds of things that may need to be addressed. So there's always an other category because, once again, it's dependent upon the needs of the student. At Bridge Level 1, we look at Bridge Level 1 instruction, and this level, it's important to note here that upon completion of this level, students could enter a career path with access to unskilled, semi-skilled jobs or seek additional training or advance to a Bridge Level 2 or a secondary completion or an ICAPS program. And instruction at this level builds upon elements in the intermediate level. This level addresses the EFL levels of 6 to 8.9 and ESL 5 to 6. Instruction at this level should include foundations for the Illinois High School Equivalency Exam or prep for CBT, computer-based testing, workplace contextualized instruction, oral communication, online instruction such as iPathways, advanced level technology skills, career development, transition support services. For the workplace contextualized instruction component of this, what we do mean is that students receive basic skills instruction using a curriculum that is either focused on careers in general or specific careers in a specific area. Students should have an interest in the particular field or career before actually learning in specific terms of what they're doing, because if they don't have an interest in healthcare, then they shouldn't be in a healthcare Bridge 1 program. But because they may want to actually open up and learn more about some of the healthcare careers, they may feel that some of those are just ones that deal with nursing and direct patient care, wherein in fact there are things that are available in the healthcare field that are non-patient directed, such as medical encoding, intake for hospitals, secretarial kinds of things, housekeeping, dietary, all the different things that may not be directly impacted with patient care. So if we look at the statewide bridge curriculum for healthcare, manufacturing, and transportation, distribution, and logistics, these are available for you in part or as a whole to assist in contextualized instruction for your students. There is an actual handout for this that is the links to all three of these curricula. You can download them. They come in 10 modules each, so that you could use as much as a whole or part. They have areas that focus on reading, writing, math, science, social studies, all of the things that you would find in a high school equivalency exam, as you talk about the foundations for a high school equivalency exam in this level. They also include career awareness module. They include a career development module. They include a post-secondary success module. So give it a look and see if there are some things that you would like to incorporate from your classroom off of those curricula. Online instruction is another skill to be used at the Bridge 1 level, and the students need to be better prepared to not only take computer-based testing and online tests, such as the GED or other high school equivalency tests, but also for career training that requires online instructions, online testing, and actually to actually fill out an application. They have to be able to go online to do online applications anymore. iPathways is one online available source for use in your classroom. If you're not already currently using it, it actually is aligned with the standards, and they actually have a manufacturing connection with it right now, and I think are working on healthcare. Others could be career cruising, for example. There are many other commercial ones out there available for online instruction. Many others are available, but may not only address online but computer-based testing and on computer-based learning, but also in college and careers and career readiness. The advanced level technology skills, once again, at this level, if you look at your handout, you move this person and they incorporate the use of technology in the classroom as well as assignments. The better prepared the students will be for college and careers and training, because in the post-secondary system, students actually have to go online to access a syllabus, their coursework for their classes, not online classes, but their actual coursework and their syllabus from their instructors that they will have in post-secondary. They also then have to learn and know how to submit their homework, oftentimes via that online format. So it's something that our students need to practice, because we want them to be prepared and to be successful when they go into the world of post-secondary or even training and work. For basic computer skills, basically they need to know how to update their computer hardware and software through a web browser or through virus protection, whatnot. Those are some things that are added. They need to know how to use terminology that includes things for the operating system, being an OS, things about filters and firewalls and how to log on and log off, the process for doing that, what pop-ups are, privacy laws, those types of things, what viruses are, how to avoid viruses. So those are just some basic computer skills at the advanced level. For the word processing skills at the advanced level, it's to create and edit documents that are related to employment and education. So in other words, knowing how to go on and prepare a paper that needs to be turned into class, and how to edit that out and how to submit that. For spreadsheets, is to select the appropriate chart and format it and change the location. Not a lot of change from the intermediate level. For electronic presentation, they actually need to be able to create a project using audio and video, which is more advanced than just actually creating an oral presentation. How to combine multiple sources to create those documents. For digital literacy, not a lot of changing with that. Use of graphing calculators may be added in that kind of situation. For communication, again, not a lot of change. Communication in general for technology is about the same across the board. For research, use of web activities or online simulations for problem solving, which is a little bit more complex than the original using keywords to search. For ethical use, it's just simply ethical use of material. Again, the ethics and the safety are pretty much the same across the board. For desktop publishing, it's creating a project for unique and academic purpose. So those expand upon each of the previous levels and should be considered as you're doing your instruction. For career development, at the Bridge 1 level, it should include the following. The Career Cluster Essential Knowledge and Skills, which are now called the Career Ready Practices. It should include job skills, should include career interest inventories. They should be able to build an Illinois WorkNet profile. They should know about college entrance exams and possibly even practice that if they want to. Revisit and reevaluate and update any academic and career plans that may have been developed at the previous levels. So if we look at the career interest inventories, a lot of those may be available online. I know that the Illinois WorkNet actually has career interest inventories that are accessible for use with those individuals. Or you could also check with the community college counselors to access anything that they possibly might have. For building the Illinois WorkNet, you can have students go on to do this as a class, or each student will need an email account. So setting up a Gmail account is one technology skill that they all need to know how to do. For college entrance exams, the Compass, AccuPlacer, whatever your college uses, since we have different ones used in the state of Illinois, you'll need to partner with the community college to see if the students could maybe take the test at a readiness check to see what it possibly takes to get into post-secondary, which has been used by several programs. For revisiting, reevaluating, and updating academic and career plans from the intermediate level where they actually had developed that. If you have students that come in at this level, they will need to create an academic and a career plan if they are new. So if it's not that they have one developed, then they update it. If not, then they develop one at this level. For the transition support services, again, not an exhausted list here. It now includes tutoring. As you can see, there are other things as well. Other barriers may emerge. For example, tutoring if they need it for the classroom, possibly following the tutor following them into the post-secondary system as well, because it may be something that they need all along. Secondary completion level is the next level on the career pathway graphic, and the EFLs for that are ASC 9 to 12.9 and ESL 6. It's the next level, and upon completion of this level, students could enter a career pathway with access to unskilled to semi-skilled jobs, and they could seek additional training or enter an integrated model such as an ICAPS program, or they could enter college. And instruction at this level actually builds upon elements in the intermediate level because they may skip a Bridge 1 and just go into secondary completion. Students should receive instruction that is at higher level instruction. They should receive instruction that is high school equivalency or high school diploma completion level. The computer-based testing, including the high school equivalency, Compass, AccuPlacer, etc. Distance learning opportunities and online instruction such as iPathways, Career Cruiser, those types of things. Advanced level technology skills, we'll go over those. Again, we went over those. So the same list that we went over the previous time. College success courses. Some community colleges have these in place already and can be something that adult ed students might access, given that you work through that and partner within your institution. Also, the Adult Education Advisory Council has made recommendations for what should be included in adult education transitions courses. We're just waiting for word to come to the programs from ICCB. Research skills is another thing that instruction should include, such as writing research papers and determining good online resources and things such as that. Career development is also included at this level, much the same as what it is included for the Bridge 1 levels. Transition and support services, again, the same. None of them are different from the level 1 Bridge program. So we'll go ahead and go on to the next one. Again, what I said to you earlier was that this is the same as the Bridge 1 levels. So your basic computer skills, word processing, spreadsheets, electronic presentation, digital literacy, communication, research, ethics and safety, and desktop publishing and web authoring are the same skills that are taught at the Bridge 1 level. For career development, at the secondary completion level, again, are the same type of skills that are taught at the Bridge Level 1 with the career clusters or career-ready practices, the job skills, the interest inventories, and the profiles with the interest exams and reevaluating or updating or developing their career plans and academic plans. Transition services, again, dependent upon the needs of the student, based upon that, but in essence would include, possibly at this point, tutoring as well. The next level is Bridge Level 2, Bridge 2 level on the career pathway graphic with ESLs 9.0 to 12.9 and ESL 6. You'll notice that these kind of coincide with the previous slides on secondary completion or high school equivalency, so that you have an individual that may go into the high school equivalency and they're going to get career development, they're going to get transition services, they're going to get technology skills, but their focus is going to be a lot of the times on getting a high school diploma, but they're still going to get career development that is integrated in the instruction. In this particular level, the Bridge 2 level, these are the bridges as we know them that are specifically geared to one specific career pathway, such as but at the same time, the students receive a high school equivalency completion instruction. So they're at the GED or HSE level or ASE level. So they're going to have to get instruction in one form of high school equivalency at this level. Contextualized instruction with a specific career pathway focus. This is where, again, the handout about the specific 3 curricula, statewide curricula, comes into play, because at this point in time, you will either have a specific Bridge 2 program that is focused on manufacturing, you may have one that is focused on healthcare, you may have one that is focused on, and it may be a specific, so that you say, okay, it could be broad, a healthcare, or it could be it could be contextualized instruction based upon a CNA, or it could be like focused on welding, which is manufacturing. Computer-based testing again, and college success courses, distance learning, research skills, much the same as they are at the high school completion level. Upon completion, they could enter a pathway with access to skilled or semi-skilled or even entry-level jobs. They could also seek additional training and integrated models or enter college. And instruction, again, from this builds from Bridge Level 1 instruction. And what you can see as we go along and progress along the levels is that when a student hangs in there and is retained and persists, as they gradually move up in the levels, they're going to actually be able to place higher in jobs as they actually would exit to careers or training, so that they would do that. As opposed, when you think about post-secondary, if they exit to go to college, then chances are that they will get then testing in and be able to bypass the developmental education courses. For workplace contextualized instruction, again, these are the links for this. It's the handout you have. Other areas where labor market information indicates you could have a bridge program in another area, but you would need to have approval by ICCB in order to do that, such as if you had an area that needed a lot of child care development assistance and you wanted to offer a bridge in child care development, you would need to get approval from ICCB and show that there was labor market a need in the labor market locally. For advanced level technology skills, same as Bridge 1 and secondary completion and Bridge 2, so we won't go through those. At the career development level, at this point in time, the same kind of at the Bridge 2 level. This should include a connection of the soft skills to career skills. Job shadowing is included at this point. So mentoring. So if you have individuals that can come in that have jobs, or students that have previously gone through this and have jobs, they can serve as mentors. The career cluster specific knowledge and skills to bridge focus areas. So there are skill sets that are specifically geared to a specific career pathway, and those are essential. They're specific knowledge and skills that would say, to be a nurse, you would need to have this specific skill set, this kind of math kind of skills that you would need. So they're more specific at that level. The transition services, additional ones might include college tours, financial aid, and other specific needs as it relates to college or careers, pathways, or of the bridge. So if you go through and you kind of look, students are going to need to kind of be introduced to their next steps and where they might go from here. The highest level of the career pathway graphic is the ICAPS or the AO programs, and their EFLs again are 9 to 12.9 and ESL 6. Upon completion of this level, students could enter a career pathway with access to an entry-level skilled job or an entry-level technician job. In addition, they could seek additional training or enter college. Instruction at this level builds on Bridge 1, Bridge 2, and secondary completion levels. Instruction should include career pathway focus on specific career and tech education occupations, such as welders, CNAs, surgical techs, secretarial positions, managerial positions, administrative assistants, computer technology or information technology. So it's whatever the college offers needs to be done so that it's actually paired with the adult education programs in this area. Industry recognized credentials or certificates. These students that go through these programs at the end will actually receive an industry recognized credential or certificate, which allows them to go into an entry-level skilled job or an entry-level technician job. They receive integrated instruction, and they also at the same time receive high school equivalency instruction and completion. The curriculum is aligned with industry recognized credential or certificate program in this level. The emphasis is on employer engagement. There is lab work as required by the career and tech education instructor. There is intensive career development because it is specific skill sets that are geared toward a specific job that the students will get a certificate in. Advanced level technology skills should be included in this, as well as any technology skills that they are going to need in order to actually do the job that they're doing. How to operate certain kinds of equipment that they may need to do if they are in shipping, for instance. Transition and support services always are there. Let's look at those a little bit. What is integrated instruction? Well, it is where a career and tech education instructor and a basic skills instructor provide integrated instruction. The career and tech ed person instructs in content, and the adult ed instructor instructs in basic skills. Integrated outcomes, direct outcomes from the career and tech ed certificate program are aligned with adult education content standards. So it may be the adult education instructor that is working with this instructor that actually takes those direct outcomes and pairs them with the adult education content standards. Team teaching or support course, it is the way instruction is delivered at this level is done either through team teaching where both the teachers are present in the classroom at the same time, possibly taking turns teaching, or a support course that can be offered by the adult education instructor to back up information that students need to have in their certificate program course. Lab work as required, depending upon the industry recognized certificate requirements, it could be that they actually have to do some lab work in this course. The advanced level technology skills, again, I'm not going to go over those. They are the same as Bridge 1, Bridge 2, and secondary completion, and they are, again, the advanced levels. For intensive career development, it is a key component of the ICAPS and the AO level. It should include employability skills, drug testing, criminal background checks, those kinds of things, because when the student leaves from this level, they're going to go into an entry-level position, so they need to know that they will have drug testing, they will have criminal background, so it actually should address all those. For labs, equipment needed, and the safety of being in the labs, what kinds of things are done with that. Career and tech ed programs of study, training, at this point in time, they need to know if you get a job in this specific field that you could actually go on and come back to school and carry on your degree and get a full degree in something else. So what types of other options are available for the student if they wanted to come back after getting a job as a welder? What could they do beyond that? On-the-job training where applicable. There may be some apprenticeships that are part of this internships, and then maybe some job shadowing where they could actually look at a person that does this job that they're working on getting a certificate in. For the transition support services, much the same. And as I said, you just might want to bring in a person that actually does the job so they could actually talk to them more thoroughly. So where do you fit in? Now that you've learned the various levels and the required skill sets of each level, look at what you currently do, what you could possibly begin to offer, or partnerships that your program could make or need to make in order to fulfill the requirements. So where do you fit? Okay? What professional development do you or your staff or your team need? It might be become clear to you that during this presentation that you, possibly the instructor, or your staff, if you're a program director, may need some additional professional development moving forward. Sit down and come up with what some of those needs are. You have a handout, the online transition and continuum of professional development, that offers many options that may assist you or your program with increasing your knowledge in areas related to the career pathway graphic. Areas such as soft skill development, career development, technology, team teaching, all the way the entire gamut. So just consider that as something that you should do. If there are any questions, you may contact me or anyone at the SIPDC if you have any concerns or questions anytime in the future. I'm Bevan Gibson, the director at Southern Illinois Professional Development Center, and it's been a pleasure. Thank you.